Have you ever heard of a treasure so vast it could make a country rich overnight, only to vanish without a trace? Or a plane that disappeared into thin air, leaving behind more questions than answers? Asia, a continent of ancient traditions and rapid modernization, is also home to some of the most baffling mysteries that continue to stump investigators and historians to this day. From lost treasures to cryptic disappearances and unexplained phenomena, these stories are more than just legends, they are puzzles waiting to be solved. Today, we're diving deep into three of Asia's greatest unsolved mysteries. We'll explore the clues, the theories, and the lingering questions that make these cases so captivating. So, buckle up as we journey into the heart of the unknown, where fact is often stranger than fiction. Our first mystery takes us to the final, chaotic days of World War II in the Philippines. It's the legend of Yamashita's gold. General Tomoyuki Yamashita, known as the Tiger of Malaya, was tasked with defending the Philippines from Allied forces. But legend says he had another, more secret mission to hide the immense plunder Japanese forces had looted from across Southeast Asia. We're talking about tons of gold bars, precious gemstones, and priceless artifacts, supposedly buried in a complex network of tunnels and caves across the islands. The idea was to retrieve it after the war, but Yamashita was captured and executed in 1946, allegedly taking the secret of the treasure's location to his grave. So, is the treasure real? Proponents point to the sheer scale of Japanese looting throughout the war. They accumulated vast wealth from a dozen countries. It had to go somewhere, right? Over the decades, countless treasure hunters, both amateur and professional, have scoured the Philippines, armed with maps of dubious origin and a whole lot of hope. One of the most famous was a Filipino locksmith named Rogelio Roxas. In 1971, Roxas claimed he found a portion of the treasure, including a 1-ton golden Buddha statue, after deciphering a map from a Japanese soldier. But his discovery was allegedly seized by agents of then-President Ferdinand Marcos. The story became a convoluted legal battle that spanned decades, adding another layer of intrigue. Did Marcos find the bulk of Yamashita's gold and use it to build his family's fortune? The official narrative is that the treasure is a myth, a wartime legend born from propaganda and wishful thinking. Skeptics argue that transporting and hiding such a massive amount of treasure during the intense final stages of the war would have been a logistical nightmare, if not impossible. Yet, the whispers persist. Every now and then, a new map surfaces or a local tells a story of strange digging operations during the war. So, what do you think? Is a multi-billion-dollar treasure still hidden beneath the soil of the Philippines? Or is it just a ghost story, a modern-day El Dorado? Now, let's fast forward to the 21st century for a mystery that gripped the entire world. On March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, a Boeing 777 with 239 people on board, took off from Kuala Lumpur, bound for Beijing. Less than an hour into the flight, it vanished from civilian radar screens over the South China Sea. The plane's transponder, which communicates with air traffic control, was turned off. But military radar and satellite data revealed something chilling. The plane didn't just disappear. It veered dramatically off its planned flight path, flying west back over the Malay Peninsula, then turning south over the vast, remote expanse of the Indian Ocean, where it flew for hours until it presumably ran out of fuel. The search that followed was the largest and most expensive in aviation history, covering millions of square kilometers of ocean. But after years of searching, the main wreckage of MH370 has never been found. Only a few scattered pieces of debris have washed up on the shores of Africa, confirming the plane went down in the Indian Ocean. The central question remains: what happened in that cockpit? One theory is a deliberate act by one of the pilots. Analysis of the flight path suggests it was flown by someone with expert knowledge of the Boeing 777, deliberately avoiding radar detection. But why? The pilots' backgrounds were scrutinized, but no clear motive was ever established. Another theory is a catastrophic event on board, like a fire or rapid decompression. That incapacitated the crew, leaving the plane to fly on autopilot as a ghost flight until it ran out of fuel. However, this doesn't fully explain the deliberate-looking turns and the shutting down of communication systems. Other theories range from a hijacking gone wrong to a remote cyber hijacking, though there's little evidence to support these. Each piece of data, from satellite handshakes to barnacle growth on the debris, has been analyzed by experts around the globe, yet we are no closer to a definitive answer. For the families of the 239 souls on board, the lack of answers is a wound that cannot heal. MH370 is a stark reminder that even in our hyper-connected world, something as large as a passenger jet can simply vanish, leaving a void of uncertainty. For our final mystery, we travel to the Himalayas, to a remote lake nestled over 5,000 meters above sea level in Uttarakhand, India. This is Roopkund Lake, but it's better known by its more macabre name, Skeleton Lake. In 1942, a British forest guard stumbled upon a horrifying sight. The shallow, glacial lake was filled with hundreds of human skeletons. When the ice melted, even more bones were visible at the bottom and scattered around the edges. Who were these people, and how did they all die here, in this desolate, uninhabited region? For decades, the prevailing theory was that they were a group of soldiers or pilgrims who got caught in a sudden, violent hailstorm around the 9th century. This was supported by local folklore and initial studies of the bones, which showed injuries consistent with blows from above, not from weapons, but from large, round objects. Imagine hailstones the size of cricket balls raining down with deadly force. It seemed like a plausible, if terrifying, explanation. But a recent, groundbreaking DNA study in 2019 turned this entire theory on its head. Scientists analyzed the genomes of 38 skeletons from the lake and discovered something astonishing. The skeletons didn't belong to a single group of people who died in one event. Instead, they belonged to at least 3 distinct genetic groups who died at different times. The largest group was indeed of South Asian ancestry, dating to around 800 AD, possibly the pilgrims from the original theory. But another group was of Eastern Mediterranean ancestry, people with genetic ties to modern-day Greece and Crete. What were people from the Mediterranean doing in the high Himalayas? And what's more, their remains dated to around 1800 AD, 1,000 years after the first group. A third individual had Southeast Asian ancestry. The lake wasn't the site of a single tragedy, but a mysterious grave site used over centuries. The mystery of Skeleton Lake didn't get solved, it got deeper. How and why did these genetically diverse groups of people find their final resting place at this remote lake, separated by a millennium? Were they part of some forgotten pilgrimage route? Were they explorers who met a tragic end? The bones of Roopkund Lake hold their secrets tightly, offering a silent, chilling testament to a history we are only just beginning to unravel. From a legendary treasure that could change a nation's fortune to a modern jetliner that disappeared into the blue to an ancient lake of skeletons from across the world, Asia's unsolved mysteries challenge our understanding of history, technology, and human endurance. These stories remind us that for all our knowledge, the world still holds deep secrets and unanswered questions. What do you think is the most plausible theory for MH370? Or do you believe Yamashita's gold is still out there, waiting to be found? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you were captivated by these tales of the unknown and want to explore more of history's greatest puzzles, don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe button. We have so many more stories to share with you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next investigation.